Okay. Let's talk Mead mishaps. So I read that time I got drunk and yeeted a love potion at a werewolf. And the last video I made, you guys, if you know, you know, I loved this story. I love this story. In this particular book, we see Cinnamon's best friend, Bree. Basically, she falls in love with the werewolf, Felix, who came back in the band of, like, magical pirates, mystical creature pirates that Sin brought back. And she's fighting with some guy. He's trying to give her a love potion to fall in love with him. And she doesn't know that. She just tosses a drink, and it lands on Felix, and he imprints on her immediately. And if you don't know, like, werewolf lore, werewolves imprint. That means they know their mates right away, and they just connect, and they click, and that's who they are. That's who they're with, or who they're supposed to be with. So he sees Bree, he imprints immediately. Love of my life. She is very skeptical of Felix's feelings towards her because, well, he just got hit with a love potion. The love potion takes like 2 weeks to wear off. So she's talking to Sin, and she's like, he's going against his will, and I don't want to disrespect his boundaries, which is all great. And Sin is like, girl, he's fine. He's fine. How do you know that he's not really in love with you? You have no idea. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you get some good werewolf sex, and he goes about his business. Like, he'll understand. It's not a problem. So she's like, okay. So she goes to, I don't know what Sin's husband's name is. Fallon. She goes to over them and say, hey, like, what can I do to get this spell off of him? He's being really attached, and he's, like, swearing that he loves me. And so they give her all these different types of spells she can use to try to break the love potion spell. And Fallon's like, hey, you know, you might just want to let him smash. That'll probably be the best way, the fastest way to break the love spell, the love potion, is just have sex with him. So she's like, what? No. Why? What? Of course not. I'll keep the in the back pocket just in case. But we're going to try this first. I do appreciate how Santa's like, hey, you like to run away from people loving you because you have daddy issues and attachment problems. And so Bree is like, what? I don't do that. And Santa's like, yes, you do. So how about you just take a moment and appreciate the fact that this man, he might really love you. And if he does, it's okay for you to love him back. Just go see what happens. It's all right. Go enjoy your time. She goes home. He is taking care of her farm. He's like, what can I do for you? I'm going to respect your boundaries. I don't got to sleep inside. I just want to be close so I know that you're safe. And they try a bunch of spells to get him off the love potion. It don't work. So you know what happens. But my girl falls head over heels for Felix. And he is a sweetie pie. And there's obviously like the backstory to the love story is that there's this adventure going on. And the women in their town are getting kidnapped and nobody knows why. So eventually she gets kidnapped too. And they're trying to like wrangle everyone together to like save them. She gets stuck underground with this magic talking sword and all these girls, and the girls all work together to get themselves free and basically whoop everybody's ass. Like, you're not about to capture us and sacrifice us for nothing. The book is so funny. The book is so funny. I cannot. It's so funny because they're talking so much shit to these guys, and they're like, oh, you captured all these women to sacrifice them to your little squid god because you guys can't get no ass. Like, you guys are doing all of this because you don't know how to talk to women because you can't get any ass. And they are clowning. They're tied up, arms up, tied up, hanging, dehydrated, hungry, starving, days, clowning their kidnappers. I love it. I just love it. Now, Bree's not a fighter. She's also not a runner. In the story, she's kind of a bigger girl. She's in there. They whooping ass. They say, you know, we got to use our brains and everything we got to take these people down. And they using everything they got. Hairpins, clips, boots, like sticks, whatever they can find to help free themselves. I can appreciate that that's the theme for a lot of these stories of the Mead mishaps is that these girls are surrounded by men that will typically be considered their saviors or the villains or whatever, and they're whooping ass, and they're saving themselves, and they're saving each other, and they are fighting for their town and their own freedom, and I can appreciate that. I love that in the end, she finally accepts that, hey, I'm head over heels for you, and I hope that this isn't a love potion thing for you, because I'm really here for it. And he said, listen, I'm here for you, and they lock in, happily ever after. It's a beautiful story. I love the Mead mishaps. And again, for the culture, it is amazing. I cannot, I've already read book 3, and that's going to be my next video. That time I got drunk and saved a human. But if you haven't read them, please read them. And please get into them, because they're so good and entertaining. I just love this series. If you guys have any other book suggestions you'd like me to review, or you think that I would just enjoy, leave them in the comments. Let me know what you thought. That time I got drunk and yeeted a love potion at a werewolf. And I'll see you next time.